Hello, happy Tuesday, happy Testimony Tuesday. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, how are you? Welcome, thank you for coming in. Denise, I think that Denise Self-Care. Hey, Barry, what's going on with you? Haven't talked to you in quite some time. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much, Barry, for those beautiful green hearts. Where you been? What's going on with you? Hey, DFG, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for taking time out of your day to spend with me. Happy Tuesday to you. I pray it's been great. I pray it's been full of joy and excitement. Been transitioning to day shifts, so I'm asleep. Yeah, it's nighttime in Japan, huh? Yeah, I understand. I've been busy too, Barry. I've been working on, finishing up this PhD, doing my dissertation, been doing a lot of clinicals. Yesterday, I really wanted to get on and share something yesterday. Yes, that's in Japanese, haya. Is it haya? I'm still working on konnichiwa. I think that's the only thing I know in Japan. Yeah, hi, okay. Yes, I try to learn at least hi and things of that nature in different languages so that I'm able to speak to people. And so thank you for taking time out of your day to be with me. And I've been working on this PhD, doing clinicals, dissertation, and all of that. So it's been, konnichiwa is hello. Yes, I know that. So that's what every time I speak to someone, I think it's Korean or is it Japanese or I don't know. But that is konnichiwa, and my other one, como está usted, and parlez-vous français. I know very few. Yes, okay. Kindanese. Okay, I think that's what that said. It's beautiful. Yes, thank you so much, Barry. It's a pleasure to see you on Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff. Hey, Digital Dre, what's going on with you? Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with me. Again, happy Tuesday, everyone. Just to let you know, if you don't know who I am Nisha Womack. I'm a life transition strategist. I help the dreamers, the aspiring, and the new business owners transition in their life with information and inspiration to help you start, market, and grow into the CEO. So how do you start? As I mentioned, people do dream all the time. They aspire, but they never do. And so I help those people that have an idea, that want to manifest that idea and to start a business. Now, I have been a professional of working from home. I've worked out in corporate America for 20 years. I've been a business owner for over 20 years, but I've been the CEO of me, which means no job, for the last 10 years. And I'm very proud to say that because that is an awesome accomplishment. First of all, to be in business over 20 years. And I must admit that I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and I'm still transitioning as the life transition strategist into new areas. And new areas are among us every day. And as you know, social media is growing. So that's something I'm growing in as well in my business. And I have transferred a lot of things to try to do that. Most of my businesses have been brick and mortar, which is real estate. You know, even though I'm in the process of getting licensed in other areas, my primary license has been in one destination. So kind of hard to do that on social media without getting out in the community and public and meeting people unless you're just destined to that area. As I've learned, you want to grow and you want to diversify yourself. So one of my businesses is a consulting company, and I've had that for probably about 8 years, I think. And I've been consulting small business owners, helping them hire the right professionals to come in to work in their business, mostly in the healthcare field, because my background is healthcare. I worked as a district sales manager for a pharmaceutical company for about 15 years. I've worked in education as an instructor. I currently am an instructor right now, teaching business classes, accounting, intro to business, finance, and all that kind of stuff. My perfection, if I were to say anything that I'm an expert in, but I don't claim expert status, but I would say I'm very good at it, is business. Because as I mentioned, you can't be in business over 20 years and not know what the heck you are doing. So I've had my real estate business for about 20 years, and I've been a licensed broker, which means I run the ship. But actually my sales staff, they run the ship because they're out there getting the leads, they're making the business happen, putting our name out there and everything of that nature. And so I'm very appreciative of them, and they make me who I am because they keep me on top of my game. And so in insurance as well, I've been an insurance broker for about 5 years, actually a little longer than that, but I had let my license lapse, and for the last 5 years I've been licensed as an insurance agent to sell life insurance, which I think is so important. Unless you're a billionaire, then you don't necessarily need life insurance. But if you are an everyday working American and you have a family, somebody that depends on your income, you need life insurance. And yes, you You may have it on your job, but guess what? If you leave your job, if you lose your job, your insurance goes too. So I got some scopes that I'm going to be planning for you for the month of August that I'm going to be doing a lot of informing. Remember I said as a transition strategist, an informative strategist, making you aware of different things that you may not know about, and some you may. Some you may know, but the more we know, the more we grow. That is my philosophy. That's what I live on. And I learn from everybody. I don't think there's not one thing that I haven't learned from someone yet, even if it's I don't want to be in their space. I learned something from them. And most of the time, if you are paying attention, you can learn from people every day too. Just simple things that you may not have known, or perhaps maybe they enlighten you to learn a little bit more about it. So today, as I mentioned, I want to share with you some strategies when you're thinking about starting a business. As I mentioned, this is one of my perfections that I've consistently tried to work on and get better in every day. Hi, welcome Chicago. What's going on, Chicago? You're not too far from me. Welcome. I'm always in Chi-Town. But I love business. I love helping people. I'm also an author. Hello, an author of 4 published books. You can catch them on Amazon. You can go over there and connect with me there. I've been an author, I would say, all my life. But in 2014, I put the pen to the pad and then to put it online as ebooks. I have one book that I can physically give to you, and the rest of them are ebooks. I also have several classes that I've done personally, that I've put together myself. And so I consistently look for ways that I can build myself up, and in the process build other people up as well. And as I mentioned, I help people start their business. And by helping them start their business, we have to go through some deep thought transition. And number one, I always ask people, why do you want to go into business? And I've mentioned this before. Is it the end thing? Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired of doing the same thing every day? Are you tired of giving someone else the hard-earned education that you paid millions or thousands or whatever for to go get? Are you tired of giving it to somebody else? What is your reason and your purpose for wanting to be in business? It has to be personal. And I tell you mine, and I actually started business a long time ago, but what really pushed me to want to go into business for myself when my 6-figure job said bye-bye. And, you know, we all get comfortable and confident in what we're doing. And that was a transition for me to say, no longer do I want to have someone having that much flexibility over my life that they can walk in with the drop of a dime and say, you are no longer needed, or your services are no longer needed. So I said, I prayed about it, because I pray about everything before I even step into it. And I prayed about it, and I said, God, you've blessed me with so many talents, and I thank you. But I need to know, where do I need to utilize my talents? Where do I need to utilize my talents? Because I know what I have available. Somebody else would like to hear it. They need to know this as well. So, my son, what's going on?
Can I get a water, please?
A water, baby? You would come. This water, excuse me, my baby is at training here. It's very hot, so if you want
Mother's Day.
Whatever. Mother's Day is every day. Mother's Day is every day, and I am a mommy every day, 24 hours a day, 365 every day. So, as I was saying, if you find this information valuable, I would greatly appreciate it if you share. Sharing is caring. If you are excited about what I'm sharing, if it's interesting to you, tap that screen and give some heart. To all my replay viewers, thank you so much for coming in. I tell you what, I love those replay viewers that come back in and give you some love by tapping that screen and giving you some hearts, even though they're not present with you right now. So to all of you all that are present, I greatly appreciate you. To my replay viewers, YouTube viewers, and if you want some daily inspiration, you can connect with me on Instagram at Nichelle Womack. I'm also on Twitter giving daily inspiration, motivation, and some tips every day. And I'm also on Facebook at The Life Transition Strategist. So let's get back down to biz. Sorry for that interruption, but kids, they interrupt your life and they make it great. And I greatly appreciate them as well. Talking about business, as I mentioned, that was one of my inspirations for going into business too. I've worked out of my home my whole life. I've only worked in a building probably one time out of my life, and that was probably about 3 years. And I really was so stressed out having to punch a clock, being somewhere at 8 o'clock, because one thing that I'm working on is time. Time is of the essence, and I try my best to be on time for everything, but I found out as a mom, sometimes it's kind of impossible, you know, and when life happens, it's kind of impossible to always be on time, but I want to make that a habit. So, but getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, being in traffic at 6:30 a.m., rushing, brushing my teeth, eating food and all that kind of stuff. It just didn't gel with me. Now, if it's a perfect opportunity, because there are perfect opportunities that fit in your life, I have no problem with that, because I still get me a side hustle every now and then when I have to get me some extra streams of income coming in. Now, they say the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. And so if you don't have 7, perhaps maybe you're behind if you are interested in being a millionaire. Some people are not. Some people are actually satisfied where they are. And if that's where you are in life, all I can say is good for you. But I know when I read my word, it tells me that you should always aspire and want more out of life, what life can give you. And I have found out life can give you a lot of things. Being a business owner has given me so much fulfillment. Not only has it fulfilled me, it's fulfilled the lives of my kids, because I've been there for everything for them. I mean, everything. Every basketball game, every football game, every school, teacher conference. I've been there. Why? Because I've had flexibility to do that. I've been my own business owner. And then when I'm working in corporate America, I've had jobs that allowed me to be at home and control my own time. As I mentioned, I was in pharmaceutical sales. And if you're familiar with that, you work out of your house. That's what I did. And so in doing that, it has given me a lot of flexibility in life. And so going into working in an office 9 to 5, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd probably go crazy. But you do what you got to do. Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Trying to see what that says, 5mm. Yes, that's what you're desiring. That's what you're claiming, flexibility. It is so awesome, Lady Bridget, to have flexibility in your life. And like I said, you have to work towards that sometimes. Hello, how are you? I've had to do that in my life. But even working my job, when I was in corporate America over 20 years, it still gave me flexibility because I chose an occupation that gave that to me. And it was because when I first had my child, my husband, he worked a full-time job and he was never at home. And so I was the full-time mommy. And then he got laid off from his job and he became a full-time dad because I traveled every day on my full-time occupation. And I was very seldom at home being a manager. What type of business do I have? I have a real estate business, insurance business, consulting business, and network marketing, everything. I am a business. I am the CEO of me. And you are too. Everybody is the CEO of them. Whether you run a business or not, you still control the business of you. And that makes you a chief executive officer of you. Now, my boss is Jesus Christ, if you want to know that. Now, he signs my check. He gives me promotions. And with that, I'm able to do the things that he's blessed me with. And those are skills that I have to help people to start business, to market business, and to grow them. Now, as I mentioned, I don't believe in being an expert. I believe in growing in every area. So I will tell you that I'm excellent in what I do. And that is helping people to start business, grow business. You can't be in business over 20 years and not know what the heck you are doing. And I confess in doing that. I love helping people be better and to grow in who they are supposed to be in life. Believe it or not, some people still don't know their purpose. And when you know your purpose and you understand your purpose, that's your aha moment. That's your moment to say, this is what I was born to do, what I was blessed to do, and you're able to use those skills. So, flexibility. Talking about the strategies, when you're talking about starting a business, you have to understand what is it in the business that you are seeking. If it's flexibility, you need to find a business that's flexible in your life, in your plan, in your money. Got to keep money on forefront. You got to keep that on forefront, because the more flexible it is, it may take away from a lot of your earning income, because people that are consistently making money, they're always doing something. They're always doing something in business, in life, to help them progress to the next level. So let's talk about that. The strategy number 1 that you need to think about when you're thinking about starting this business is a market that spends money. Now, this is a very generic, broad statement, a market that spends money, because if you think about it, every market spends money. And when I'm talking about market, I'm talking about demographics, culture, I'm talking about age and gender. That's when I'm talking about market. But you got to think about this. Every demographic, every culture, every age, every gender spends money differently. So when you're looking at that market, you got to look at it to see if that's the type of business you want to go into, what area for those type of people. Now, I'm just going to be very blunt here, and I'm going to talk about the hair industry. Not in the hair industry, but my family owns barbershops. So my husband's family, but they own barbershops. And so in talking about that, I work with a lot of saloon owners, business owners that own barbershops and beauty shops, helping them to start their business, grow their business, and market it. And in talking with them, Hair industry is big right now. Hair, weave, and all that kind of stuff, because people would like to transition their look. And as a woman, I appreciate that as well. I love transitioning my look because I like to look different every day. Unfortunately, when you have your natural hair and things of that nature, if you don't spend enough time, sometimes that takes away from it. But going back to the subject, they like the hair. Culturally, we know that African Americans spend more on hair care than any other culture. And so if that is your business that you're going towards, you need to go to that demographic area. You look at what age. I don't even think it's a specific age that spends a lot, because everybody likes to look good. And so when you're looking at age, more than likely it's going to be someone that's employed, the younger people, the people that you're going to market to. So you want to be mindful of that. So the market area, you need to concentrate on that if your business applies to there. What can you do? What type of business can you come up with that the demographic, the race, the culture, and the age would suffice for you making an income? That's number one. That's the first business strategy that you need to think about. Who are you marketing to? Bottom line. I know in real estate, again, it's not granted by age. Most of my clients are between the ages of 25 and 40. And every now and then I'll get a 65-year-old that's first-time homeowner. And I don't, money is green. That's all I see. Money is green, and whoever wants my help and my service, I'm there. But I know that that's the demographic that I'm marketing to. Now, my culture is varied. I mean, I work with all types of people. And when you're looking at business growth, you got to look at that. I know some people just gear towards one area, and if that's what you choose to do, that's fine. But I find limitation there. I find limitation when I just stick to one culture or one format. You got to look for diversity in your business if you want to grow, because again, money is green and all money spends the same. And you got to look at who you're targeting to get that business growth. Number one, find a market that spends. Demographics, culture, age, gender. Some people are conservative with their money. Some people are aggressive. They spend freely and easily. If that's the business that you're looking to go into, that type of business area where you're marketing to those type of people, you got to be specific, and you got to know what captures their attention. What captures their attention for them to spend freely with you? Because if they're spending, that means you're making money. And you're making them happy, because the more you make customers happy, the more they're going to come back and the more they're going to buy from you. Little reset here. I'm Nichelle Womack. I am a life transition strategist. I help you start, market, and grow into the CEO of you. How do I do that? I help the dreamers, the aspiring, and the new business owners transition in their life with information and inspiration to help you start, market, and grow into the CEO. Welcome, Frat 7890. I think that's what that says. Hello, how are you? And so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. That's number one. Number two, you want to find out what they need and what they are lacking. A great way to do that is drive through neighborhoods. I tell you what, when you're looking at new restaurants that are open, real estate, location is so important. Yes, so important. And so you want to make certain that the real estate, the location that you're going into, that it's going to suffice for your business. I actually owned a consignment shop. I owned a consignment shop for about 5 years, and I closed the business down due to several reasons. Number one, the traffic that I was getting, it was not in a good location. And we were there, we would get business, but it was just not a good location. I did not go to the board meetings. This is something that's important. You need to go to the board meeting if you have a standalone business, brick and mortar, because God knows 5 years later, they opened up a Walmart there. They opened up a Walmart there. And where my business was, if I had kept it there, then I would have had more traffic coming towards my business. But we did very well with the consignment shop. I mean, it was just a matter of location, finding the right space. And then at the point, to be honest with you, we got a great rent rate. The rent was great. And then when they started transitioning, what they did was increase the rent. When they increased the rent, that went into your bottom line. So you had to make sure you brought more in than you were delivering out. And so I'm in the process of opening up another location for my consignment shop, and it's still available online at New to You Consignment. It's on Facebook if you want to go check it out, some of the things that we had. But it was a very good business, and I still do work with some customers that are interested in selling things. Being a real estate broker, I help people when they're in the process of moving out. I do sales for them, estate sales, and so that kind of helped with my consignment business as well. And so find out what they want. What need is it in a community? In different communities, restaurants, you know, a lot of communities have a lot of fast food restaurants. So maybe a health food restaurant would be a good target area in there because people are trying to eat healthy. But then you have to think about it. Can they afford your prices? Look at restaurants like Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is very, very conservative when they go into a different area. They don't go into real areas that necessarily can't afford their food. They go into areas and properties where they know they're going to get some clients coming through. You know, Walmart is I wouldn't say a cheap store, but they're very conservative with their prices, or are very flexible with their prices. And so they can go into areas that are less affluent and make a lot of money. And so when you're looking at your business, you have to pay attention to those things. Can your population afford what you have to offer? Because everybody, as I say all the time, is not your customer. And being that everybody is not your customer, if you're somewhere that people can't afford your products or services, you're not going to make any money. So that's number 2. Find out what they need, what they are lacking. Drive through the neighborhoods, build relationships. That's the key in business and everything that you do, building those relationships. People buy from people they know, they like, and a lot of times they trust. I don't believe people have to like you to buy from you, because I understood that from pharmaceutical sales. A lot of times I had agents the doctors just didn't even like, representatives that the doctors just didn't even like. They didn't like them because perhaps maybe they were pushy. Maybe they were, too aggressive in trying to get in the sale to close the deal. But they trusted them because they were consistent and they were persistent in doing what they did. And a lot of times you'll hear that everybody is not going to like you, and you're not going to be everybody's friend. And believe it or not, that's okay. You don't have to be everybody's friend, and everybody don't need to like you. But if they trust you, they believe you, and they know what you're talking about, they have a little bit more concern of whether or not they buy from you. So that's a good thing. And so keep that in mind. Find out what they want, what they need, and what they're lacking. You want to build those relationships. You want to conversate. And the greatest thing that I tell you in business all the time is you got to research. You got to research your market, your target market. What is it and who is it that you're marketing to? And research helps you do that. It helps you find the demographics that is going to help you progress your business. When I started my real estate business, before I opened up the brick and mortar, I looked at the demographics of the area that I wanted to sell in. Obviously, I wanted to sell more affluent properties, and so I had to open up shop in a more affluent area. Guess what came with that affluent? That affluent pocket, I had to pay a higher rent. And so then I started to diversify a little bit and get a mixture in my portfolio. And so I went into an area that was a little bit more flexible, people that were not able to buy, because I wanted to help everybody. And you can't help everybody. And that's a reality as a business owner that you have to come to. You want to help everybody, but the reality of the situation is you're not going to be able to help everybody. You're going to have to let some people go, especially if they can't pay to be in the game. You're going to have to let them go. So find out what they need, what they want, and what they're lacking. And if you do that, you'll be able to find your demographic, your population, and your target market. Number 3, you want to get everything that I've shared with you. You want to put it in a package and you want to deliver it. Because it doesn't matter how much information you gain, how much business that you learn, how much whatever you do, if you don't deliver the product. And that's the key aspect of being in business, making a profit and earning, helping as many people as you possibly can. As I mentioned, you're not going to be able to help everybody, but if you can help one person, and that's what I strive to do every day. If I can help one student realize the dream of that owning a business is in your deck of cards, if I can help one person become a homeowner, if I can save one life by giving them, delivering to them an insurance policy that they wouldn't have possibly had if I had not shared the benefits of owning insurance, if I can consult with someone to help them learn about business, I've done my job. And I'm happy with that, because I know and I've realized and I've understood that you won't be able to help everybody. And so my 3 strategies to help you to start thinking about starting a business, if you are interested in doing that. Number 1, find a market that spends money. Number 2, find out what they want and what they need and what they're lacking. Number 3, give it to them. You got to deliver. After all this, you got to deliver. My name is Nichelle Womack, and as I mentioned, I'm a life transition strategist. I help the dreamers, the aspiring, and the new business owners transition in their life with information and inspiration to help you start, market, and grow into the CEO. I have so many dreamers that come to me all the time. Most of the time, they don't know where to start. I help you find out where to start. And all of this has to do with niche, finding your niche. If you are interested in getting some free information about creating your niche and finding out what your niche is, I have a freebie at bit.ly, create a niche. Create a niche, and niche is spelled N-I-C-H-E. If you want to go there and you can get some ideas of 63 ways that you can create a niche depending on what you're interested in going into. So again, bit.ly, create a niche. I also have a class that I just offered, that I'm offering right now. It's called Startup Business Clinic. Starting a business, you can go to bit.ly, Small Business Clinic. That class is going to take place on August 18th, I think it is. August 18th. It's a live class. We'll be doing conversation. I will be teaching you different areas to help you identify to starting a business, helping you create a niche that's perfect for you, that can help you elevate your level of expertise, your professionalism from being an employee to being a business owner. I talked to you about the different tactics of starting a business, from the legal aspect of it, the different types of businesses that you can start. And it's just so much information. For 10 weeks, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you a module and as well as a live class where we can meet face to face, where we can talk about what you are interested in starting. And as I mentioned, I have an MBA in business, a BA in business, concentrations in leadership and in management. Again, I don't profess to be an expert, but I will tell you I know what I'm doing. After graduating with those 2 degrees, owning a business over 20 years, being in corporate America for over 20 years, and actually being the CEO of me, which means no job, just the boss of me, outside of the boss who gives my paycheck and my promotions, Jesus Christ. I've been the author in my life. So I thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in with those purple hearts. I greatly appreciate you. If you would like to connect with me with some positive inspiration, I'm available on Instagram every day, giving information and inspiration to help you start marketing and grow into the CEO. I'm also on Twitter at Nichelle Womack. And I am on Facebook at The Life Transition Strategist. And if you're interested in anything that I have to share with you, I love to communicate and collaborate. Lady Bridget, what happened? You came in and came off. So yes, this is a lunch break pause, talking about strategies to help you think about business ideas. Business is wonderful. And I tell you what, business grows every day. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. Entrepreneurship. When I got my BA in 1992, I actually graduated in 91 from Clark Atlanta University. And when I graduated, I was finished with my classes, but I didn't walk until May of 92. But I tell you what, entrepreneurship, it was big then because I had a business in college. But right now, it's so much emphasis placed on it. And I think it's a good thing because you literally have to be the creator of your life. And when I'm talking about a creator, I know the Most High creates everything, but you have to be the author of your life. And how do you do that? You have to determine your own destiny. You have to figure out what it is in life that's your passion, what you're passionate about, and you have to go for it. As I mentioned the other day, everybody is not an entrepreneur, but most people are entrepreneurs. And an entrepreneur works for somebody else who has that vision and has that passion to put a business into place. And if that is you, that's okay, because you're still the CEO of you, because you decide whether or not it is that you're going to stay in that situation, whether you're going to build upon that situation, or whether you're going to leave and go into another one. And so I never give someone that full authority over my life because I want to be the author. I want to be the one that writes those chapters. We're in the 8th month of the year. Boy, did this month go by fast? I mean, this year go by fast? I mean, really fast. And we're in the 8th month, and I still talk to people every day that made New Year's resolutions on January 1, 2016. Heck, I talked to some that made them 2015, January 1. And they still have not done anything. And so when I ask them why, the number one reason is a lack of motivation, procrastination. And then number 2 is money. People tell me they haven't done what they needed to do because of a lack of money. And the class that I'm offering, the Small Business Clinic, it's $15 a week, basically. And I'm giving this away right now. This is an introductory course. I've been teaching in college for about 10 years now. 10 years, and I teach online for a couple of universities. But this is the first class that, from the knowledge that I've gained from getting the MBA and the BA and working on this PhD, that I put together myself, that I saw that was missing holes and loopholes in the education that people were getting, that are getting in college and that they're getting online. And I'm like, I can develop something that can help people think of business differently. Because they just give you this monologue. They give you this monologue. And I tell you what, I greatly appreciate all my education that I've received. But I've met so many people that didn't have a degree. Believe it or not, I've spent over $100,000 in education. I've met so many people that didn't spend a dime. It was self-education that took them from point A to point B, and they're millionaires right now. One of the gentlemen that I work with in one of my small businesses, he graduated, or he finished the 8th grade. That's it. And he's a millionaire right now. Almost, he pretty much is almost a billionaire. The guy works hard. He works hard every day. And I thank God that I've had the pleasure of being around someone that I'm connected with who didn't have all the book knowledge, but they had the street knowledge and the world knowledge and the life knowledge to know that they could take their life to another level. So just because you're not a graduate of a college or anything of that nature, you can have enough knowledge inside of you from experience, life experience, work experience, that you can develop into a business. And I have helped many people come through in my class do that. Yesterday, I ran into one of my college students. She graduated probably like 2 years ago, I think. And she used to work in the kitchen as a restaurateur. She just worked in a restaurant as she wasn't a chef, but behind the counter, serving the food. Server, I guess that's what she is, or was. But I used to talk to her all the time, and she had great aspirations. Nobody in her family graduated from college. And so she wanted to be the first one to graduate. So, of course, me, Nichelle, being the motivator and the inspirator, I said, you got to graduate from college, because this will be a great accomplishment, not only for your legacy, but for your family to see this is possible. This is possible. And so she told me the other day, she dropped out because she just ran out of money. And the other day I saw her, and she's re-enrolled to go back to school. But she said, Miss Womack, I really wish I was in your class again, because you seem to have taken so much time with us to help us to develop ideas and to see the gifts that we had in store of us. And so I invited her to my class. So she's going to be one of the students. And, you know, I told her I don't accept financial aid. Unfortunately, at this time, I don't accept financial aid. And that's what she had. But I decided to give her a gift. And that gift will be to get her in the class. And I also want to give you a gift, too. If you're interested in enrolling in that class, it's $149. And it's $149 for 10 weeks. As I mentioned, it's $15 a week for 10 weeks. If you can't afford $15, you don't need to be in business. And that's real talk. And so I'm going to give you a discount. If you go ahead and enroll for the class, I can only accept 25 in there because it's an introductory course. 25 people in there. If you go and enroll for the class, you can get a discount by putting the word opportunity in there as a discount code. If you go to bit.ly Small Business Clinic, you can see the whole format, the class that we're going to take starting August 18th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's giving you all the information that we're going to talk about there. And I'll give you a discount as well. Opportunity. Put that in there. You get about a 20 to 30% discount for the class. So that takes it down to about $112, $115, somewhere around there, $120. $130, somewhere around there, and you can get that discount. And so I'm going to offer that to you today. And if you're interested, fine. If not, that's fine as well. But again, on that day, we're going to help create new business owners, people that have that desire, the passion in their heart to start a business. They just don't know where to begin. And I understand. Even with a business degree, an MBA, when I started my business, it was trial and error. But if I had the education, which I did, because I had that paper that said I had the degree, but the real experience comes from putting it into action. And most people make mistakes in business. Bill Gates made them. Oprah Winfrey makes them every day. But they hire people that are smarter than them to help them not make them, or not to create the same mistakes over and over again. So that's my message today. And I hope it's been an inspiration for you. And I pray that I was able to trigger your desires in wanting to create a different life, wanting to become the CEO of you, wanting to transition from whatever state you're in into a better state, because that's what life is all about. Life is all about change, and that's what transition is, change from one point to the next. So, any questions? Any questions? Any questions? If not, I know it's lunchtime. It's 12:40 Central Standard Time, my time. And I got my kids here. And that's the part of being a work from home mom. I get the flexibility to do what I want, when I want. Sometimes. They like, Mom, we need to go to training. So my boys are athletes, and one plays basketball in college. The other one's in high school playing basketball. He'll be graduating this year, and hopefully he'll be going to Stanford. That is his goal and his desire. He has a couple of schools that are looking at him, looking for that offer, scholarship offer. Look, I've been paying for private school their whole life. Now they need to pay their way forward. They need to pay their way forward. Welcome. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. So that's the great thing about being a work-from-home mom, a stay-at-home mom. I have that flexibility to go as I please, when I please. When they say they got to go somewhere, I can just, tell my clients. And most of the time, it's flexible. I can work around my clients and things that I'm doing to go do the things I need to do for my family. And my old 18 years, and I tell you, to be 18 years old and to always have your mom there at the drop of a dime, that's a blessing. Because I wasn't as fortunate as that. My mom worked a job, and she had to be there every day. And I didn't see my mom sometimes. My dad, he worked a job. He had to be there every day. And I didn't see him. In fact, my dad played professional football. So he was gone all the time. And I really didn't see them. I really didn't see them much. And so, they were there, though, because they mandated and manifested in me to be who I am. Lunchtime multitasking, that's an awesome thing. I'll go take my do their workout here for basketball training. So I understand, Miss Bridget, I really do. Well, that's it. That's my message. If you want to connect with me, I love connecting. I love meeting new people. I really do. I love learning what makes people tick, what makes you smile, what makes you happy, and what makes you money. Because life is all about the connections that you make. Your network is your net worth. And so may everything you touch turn to gold. And I pray that you are blessed and highly favored. Highly favored. To be highly favored is a higher anointing. A higher anointing in the Most High. Because He delivers life to us. He delivers breath out of our body. He gives us the desires of our heart. If you ask. If you ask. Most people don't ask. And when you ask, the universe will deliver. If you put in the work. Some people ask and they don't do nothing. They just, Lord, bless me with all this. And yes, he listens, because He will bless you, because I know I'm a recipient of His blessings. But He also says faith without action is dead. So though, if you don't even have enough faith in yourself to take that leap to that next level, He's going to say, when you get some more faith, all you need is a mustard seed. When you get some more faith, then I will deliver. See, it's never on our time. It's on His time. And I'm thankful for that. Plenty of times when I wanted to rush and be on my time, guess what? It flopped. It flopped because I was rushing Him. But He says, in due time, my sister, in due time, my daughter, in my child, in due time, you will receive what is yours. And we all have a right. We all have a right and a privilege. This is America, they told me. I am in America, and if you are from other places, I know I have friends from all over the world, in Japan and in South Africa and in other places. If you are privileged with opportunity, take advantage of it, because so many people aren't. So many people aren't. So I don't take for granted the breath of fresh air. I don't take for granted the knowledge that I've been bestowed. I don't take for granted the blessings that I have each and every day to see you, and take the blessings for granted to see the world. Even though it's not the most acceptable, it's so many different things going on. You gotta be a breath of fresh air. You have light, bright light that shines consistently. Be that light that cheers. Be that bright light that gives somebody hope. 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 It's possible. I truly believe that. So I thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your lunch break pause, your lunch break time, just to spend some time with me. I take every connection I have with the responsibility to know that you could be anywhere else, but you chose to be with me. So I greatly appreciate you for that. So until next time, I should get on this evening. I think I should, because I know I don't have a class today. Yeah, I don't have class today. So I should be free this evening to get back on and share some excellent tips and some connection. I want to connect. Let's do a networking session or something like that. How about that? How about that? So thanks again. Again, may everything you touch turn to gold, be blessed and highly favored in everything you do. All my replay viewers, thanks again for coming in and tapping that screen, sharing the information. All my viewers in the show, I love being on today, and I greatly appreciate you being a part of my space. Be blessed, and I'll talk. Bye-bye. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.